A very good morning to all the students. In today's lecture of your business communication, you will be able to have another view of writing a letter or writing a message. But in today's class, we are going to study another one of the most essential and one of the most important aspect of communication, that is communicating a sympathy or communicating something that is going to add or is going to provide solace to the hurt souls. Actually, the point is that, student, that in today's scenario, we all are so much so being commercialized and we are in a habit of making the things in such a manner that we believe that in this particular brutal world, the effect of those kind of sympathy or those kind of say those words which are going to provide comfort to the people, how to use them or in what manner to use them. Then on the second aspect of my messaging and all, and the aspect of message is going to combine a persuasive message, that is a persuasive message of request, basically persuasive or persuade someone or to attract someone and to plead the kind of request, that is how are you going to make the particular persuasive message and request your consumer or request someone to buy the product or allure that particular person at large. To begin with the aspect of sympathy, let us first cite some of the things. May cherished memory bring you moment of comfort. See, students, the point is that sympathy notes are being written just for the purpose of adding some comfort to your life. In our day-to-day life of these commercial world and all, when the kind of grief or when the kind of emotion actually hurt our particular souls, we need some words, we need some kind of a message that is going to provide solace to us. Comforting someone who is grieving is not an easy task. Remember, students, if someone is crying, see, someone is happy, someone is excited, you can excite him, you can just make him happy one more thing, and you can just talk to him or her in the way you feel like. But say, for example, if someone is in grief or if someone is in pain, it is very difficult to actually evacuate the pain out of the human souls, because the very essence of your communication is to also deal with the emotional front of your human beings. So, what exactly is happening? Well, there's nothing you can do that can take the pain away. There are some ways that you can help to lessen it. Expressing your sympathy through cards, letters is one way of providing comfort to the peace of mind to someone who is mourning. So basically, the aspect of, see, there are many situations like losing a job, uh, not having a very good time in your life. At times, life is just like a roller coaster, as it's been said that it is a roller coaster. Happiness is also there, and there are moments of sadness. So when a particular person is sad, just to express your gratitude or express your feelings, to just comfort him and to help him to make the aspect much more clearer and to actually win over the mourning aspect, you can do what? You can just write a very providing a very that kind of note that is going to give him a kind of comfort and provide him solace. However, finding the right word is tricky and deciding what to write in condolence card is difficult. While we may not know what someone is going through and we do not know that saying something is better to say or nothing to say at all. Now, say for example, when you are actually going to a particular place wherein a person has lost someone which is of a particular importance to his or her life. So, in this particular situation, when you are actually providing the words of consolence or a word of condolence and all, you just have see writing a card or making the things like to say some pretty words or to words of comfort uh, in a card format. You can write that particular thing because it is already being there in your sayings and in your aspirables and all. But when you actually say, I am with you, don't worry, everything is going to be all right. Now whether in this particular phase of time, saying this particular sentence that everything is going to be all right, or don't worry, hard times are there but there are beautiful moments also. Remember the beautiful moments, and life is not going to be an easy thing, I know, but still, it is a stage and we have to go on. See, these words, writing it in a kind of a paragraph or writing it in a notebook, are very pretty to look at. But when you actually say them, with what intention you say and in what manner you say, you have to have that particular knowledge of that. So often at times it becomes very, very tricky to what to actually write or cite in a sympathy note. Writing a sympathy note is often an emotional, intimate experience. It is challenging to find the right word to offer support, comfort, and empathy. Uh, we know how important it is to lend a piece of your heart, to pay your respect, while even thoughtful mind can open with your condolence and all. Even though our words can't take the pain of losing a loved one, they can go a long way to help a grieving person. We have to combine the large selection of sympathy card messages, and we have combined that large selection of sympathy cards and messages to give an idea of as to how to actually do this particular aspect. See, this particular paragraph has been taken from a particular site where it is a very unknown kind of a site on which I have just cited this particular thing. So in that particular site, uh, those simple sympathy.coms are is a name of a site which is going to give you a kind of a card or a kind of those words that are going to be very apt for you. See, these sites are the best source to actually have those kind of words. See, English is a very beautiful language. Or any or English, Hindi, Urdu, French, or any kind of language is a very beautiful languages. But in every language, the aspect of providing sympathy is different. Writing something which is going to provide a comfort or a support to someone, and is going to make him feel that okay, someone is there with me, or is going to help me in my grieving circumstances and all. So that has to be taken into considerations. Now in the later part of my slides, I have also told that there are certain kind of notes or certain kind of a mannerism as to how are you going to write a sympathy note. Basically, sympathy note is just for the purpose of your bad times, and in those bad times, how are you actually going to provide comfort to the particular person who is actually having those bad times at large? So, if you say that if you're looking for the right kind of word, this particular site or the simplesympathy.com is a very good example of it. And there are many more. There are n number of you just write sympathy note on Google, you are going to have those kind of words and all. But actually, say this particular picture I have taken from a particular Google site. But may cherished memory bring moment of comfort using this word every now and then. Is it applicable? So you actually have to do what students, you have to think that okay, in this particular situation these words are apt and I can use it over there. Don't go hayward and don't go in such a manner that it is believed that you're just crossing your boundaries, or you're just making a sympathy note just because you want to make a sympathy note of it. Or don't provide unnecessary type of sympathy to the person, because at times when people are going through a very hardship situations, they only need a support, they don't need sympathy at times. So you have to have that knowledge that is it the right time to say the sympathy note or not. Composing a sympathy note. Now, in order to compose sympathy, now this is to make your mood a bit lighter. Another sympathy card on our anniversary next week. This is basically a kind of a joke or a jovial thing on two particular persons who are going to have their anniversary in the next week, and this particular lady is saying that okay, the people are very sympathized with us that we have lived so long that you are actually having an anniversary in your near future and all. So basically, it's a kind of a gig. It's a kind of a comic aspect that is going to make your mood a bit lighter. To write a sympathy note, you have to have a knowledge of viewpoints. Use formal language when writing a sympathy note. See, you have to use using flowery languages, using kind of a language that is going to persuade someone or is going to attract someone. You're not attracting someone, you're not providing any kind of an allurement to anyone. You're just providing a kind of a comfort, or you're going to provide a comfort to the person in such a manner that he is going to feel okay, you are with him and you are going to do something for him. And the tone should be formal in nature. The loss of someone is serious and devastating time in anyone's life. So the tone of a sympathy card should reflect this. See, loss of a job, loss of a salary, or loss of a very near and dear ones, loss of your parents, loss of your any other person. It can be any kind of loss and all. Providing a kind of a sympathy note should show that you are actually being sympathized with that particular person. Just do not write a pre-recorded note that has been taken from any kind of site or something like that. Though I will be giving you a methodology as to how or what kind of words can you write, but don't exactly copy the entire sentence of mine and use it everywhere. The kind or the aspect of sympathy note or writing a sympathy note is a very, very complex issue. So you actually have to provide a tone of sympathy. A tone of sympathy should be in such a manner that is going to provide a comfort to the particular person. Make sure you use formal language when considering what to write us in a sympathy card. See, as told in my very first point, that the tone of the letter should be formal or the tone of the note should be formal. You have to have the formal language also. The style of writing a sympathy note should be formal. That means you cannot write those kind of say yours sincerely and yours faithfully and all. You just have to mention each and every aspect. Most of the time, it is being seen that you write yours faithfully, yours lovingly. No, don't write that. In every closure, you can use your yours sincerely word too often and now. Make sure that the kind of language which you are actually using in your sympathy note, you are using a tone or a pattern in such a manner that is being reflected or that a sympathy is being reflected to the other person. Always start a sympathy note with dear and end your card with yours sincerely or yours truly, as I have already told you. See, yours truly is a kind of a monotonous thing and it has been used quite at times a lot. But writing yours truly uh, is being commonly being used by your Britishers, is being commonly being used by your Americans and all too often and all, too often a time. But writing the word yours sincerely is going to create a kind of a sincere aspect that you are sincere. You are actually showing a sympathy. Though truly is going to also add to the same thing also, but sincerely is going to look much more better. And in my opinion, ending a letter with yours sincerely is going to provide a kind of a solace to the person that, okay, someone is there who is sincere towards me, or someone is there who is having a sincere feeling towards me. And always remember, students, you have to write dear in the beginning. Uh, but remember, if you are writing it to a particular person who is your boss, you cannot write dear to him. You have to have that particular respected and all. So you have to be very, very particular to whom you are writing and to in what context you are writing. You should also refrain using slang or nicknames. It is, however, appropriate to use the terms of endearment when writing sympathy quotes. See, I used to call him Dick. I used to call him Tom. I used to call him yeah, these kind of nicknames or Tom Dick or something like that. So basically, if you are going to use those kind of your slangs, or not only the slangs, but also those kind of those nicknames and all. So basically, don't ever use say for example a person has died and you say that I used to call him Tom Dick. Tom Dick because he was just like a character of Tom and Jerry. So basically, using that particular thing in a type of your sympathy note is not going to lighten the mood of someone. It is going to show that how uh, cruel of you are. You're actually sympathizing someone. So never ever use a kind of a nickname. Say, for example, you are writing a nickname or pseudonym of someone, that dear Mules or dear Sam, something like that. That is pseudonym of someone. So you just have to be very particular that you have to write the complete name. Right? If you are writing a name, write a complete name of someone or a deceased person. Write a complete name of deceased person. You can offer him. You can just mention him by calling him sir, calling him by the appropriate name which you used to call him, like uncle or something like that. But never ever use those kind of nicknames at all. If you are sending an electronic sympathy card, do not use shortcuts like mobile texting and all. See, never ever text a sympathy note by using your mobile and WhatsApp and all. Providing a word of solace by writing a sympathy note onto your text message and sending it by an SMS is going to create a kind of an image of yours that this is a kind of formality which you want to do. It is you're not feeling it from something within. So you have to actually express a sympathy. Sympathy note and anatomy of sympathy note. Excuse me. When it comes to write in a sympathy card, uh, the most important rule is that sympathy method should be short, should be sweet. Uh, when someone has experienced a loss, they likely to not to have in a mental state to read a long sympathy cards and all. There are six elements that make up a sympathy card in order to make it appear at large. See, students, if you're writing a very long letter of say uh, 2 to 3 to 4 paragraphs, and you're stretching something too long, the person was actually lost something. Say for example a particular person is there and he has lost his you can say his job, and he's very hand to mouth. He will not be earning something for the family now, and for getting a job he needs sustenance and all, and you are writing a letter of sympathy to him. So he has suffered a great loss. And when he has suffered a great loss, you are going to sympathize him by using only crisp and clear words that you are with him, you are with him in the bad times and all. Or if someone has lost his or her mother or father, something like that, which is of a grave thing to lose at. So providing a kind of a comfort of this kind, you actually have to provide a kind of a, there are few points that has to be taken into consideration to actually have an anatomy is going to tell you that what are those things that have to be included in a sympathy note, that is going to make it beautiful, and at the same time, yeah, it is going to create a kind of an of your image into the mind of the person that you are with that particular person and you're actually being sympathized with that particular person. Give Key, I never had a doctor giving me a sympathy card before my test result. This is basically actually this particular topic is a bit weighty in nature, or it is just going to create a kind of a monologue into your minds and all. So to just make your mind a bit lighter, I'm just using cartoon strip for many times. Salutations is the very first thing, greeting aspect, tia and all. Acknowledgement of the loss, you have to acknowledge that the loss which he or she has, it is of great nature. Reassurance that you are thinking about the person in grief with him. You have to reassure him or her that when you are writing this particular letter, you are actually thinking of the person who was with that particular person, and that particular person has deceased. So you have to provide a kind of a reassurance that that I am with you and I'm thinking of that particular person, and I know that particular person was very great and was remarkable. Appreciation of letter of person that has passed away. You have to write an appreciation letter for that particular person, and sincere offer of the help. Remember, students, sincere offer of the help. You can say, "I am with you. Don't worry, I am with you." Saying this, and don't worry, life is a roller coaster, and the concept is that I know that the time is not a right thing to say, but still, always remember, in any of the great difficulties of yours or any kind of help if you need, always remember me as being by side of you. Write something which is actually going to show your sincerity. Don't copy, don't just go into the hayward of copying something. Don't make those control C and control V aspect in sympathy note, because sympathy note is just from your heart, is just going to connect to another aspect. Warm closing, you have to write those your sincerely words at the end of it. Now there is a particular anatomy of sympathy note. To just begin with an aspect, start with the salutation. uh, Dear, then put a dash, acknowledge for the loss. How you are actually going to write? See, students, don't copy my words. I'm again saying the thing that don't copy these words, because you have to that say, for example, if you just have to write any kind of a sympathy note to anyone, you can have these kind of parameters, but don't copy it exactly in the same manner. Use your own language and use your own intelligence. Yeah. Acknowledge of loss is going, now you're going to tell that you are actually acknowledging the loss in a manner like, we are deeply saddened to hear about the loss of any kind, loss of your job, loss of your any special person to you. We are sorry to hear about the passing of. You have to write the full name, don't write the pseudonym, as I already been told to you. I was saddened to hear that your father, oblique your grandfather, right? Particular person's name. Uh, if you don't want to write, you can just mention your grandfather passed away. I was saddened. Remember your verbs. Remember your tenses. These are very to be used. We send our deepest sympathy to remember. I am sorry for your loss. We are going to miss dash two. That means we are going to miss uncle too. We are going to miss auntie too. We are going to miss your particular aspect too. Just add to this thing. Thinking of you as you remember dash a true friend that was close to you. Thinking of you as you remember. As you remember means as you remember that particular person's name, and then make it a point. I am heartbroken that this particular person is no longer, and he will be greatly missed. See, these kind of mannerism is the aspect that which you are going to actually acknowledge a loss of someone. Remember, acknowledging means that you are actually feeling the same kind of pain which that particular person is feeling. See, in this particular brutal world, if say for example, there is a loss of someone X, and that particular person is in grave pain. But if I am not feeling the same kind of connection, in no matter or in no context, I won't be in a condition to feel the exact as a kind of pain at large. Because thing is that we all particular human beings have become so much so materialistic, have become so much so mechanized, that we are almost like your say your robots. Just like robots do not have feeling, but these days robots are also having feelings. Humankind or mankind has become more like a, pseudo characteristics, or those kind of warm emotions or those kind of feelings are not being associated to at large. So acknowledging a loss, you have to have that particular kind of feeling exactly in the same manner. Then let the person know you are thinking of them. See, I am thinking of you and your family during the time of sorrow. We hope that you feel surrounded by much love during the difficult times. I wish you much comfort during the sad times. We are thinking of you in this difficult time of mourning a loss. I am thinking of you of warm wishes and more moments, holding you close to my heart and hoping that you are fine and all. Our thoughts are with you and your family during the sad times. See, basically, you have to have a kind of an image uh, that a particular person is feeling the same kind of pain. Say, for example, just a sympathy card for the scientist, or a person has been rejected, or paper of a particular well-known. Say, for example, it is just like a, you can say it's a very grave thing for any kind of a researcher or any kind of a scientist that his or her paper is being rejected by the top journals. If thus if this kind of aspect occurs, it is also going to create a kind of a monotony into his life, and he will just be a heartbroken. So in this particular situation, you also can like write these kind of things, and these are most commonly being used. So in the third aspect, the first aspect was you have to start with salutation, then you have to actually acknowledge for the loss. In the third aspect, you have to have that particular feeling that I am feeling the same kind of pain as your family is feeling, or I am with you. Don't worry or don't bother about any kind of losses and all. I am always there by the side of you, and I am thinking of you. Thinking of you means that I am actually having those kind of emotions, those kind of acknowledgement as you are having. Next, share a memory of or your appreciation of a deceased. See, first point was salutation, second was your acknowledgement of the loss. Then you are actually letting the person know that you are thinking of him or her or about the family at large. And the fourth aspect, you have to share a memory or your appreciation of deceased. See, when you are sharing a memory of someone, you have to have a kind of a beautiful memory. You cannot have those grave experiences and all. Say, for example, an uncle used to beat you when you pluck flower from the garden. You cannot share that particular memory. An uncle used to give you sweets on Diwalis and Dasharas and something like that. That was a sweet memory. You have to share only those memory which are of which is going to provide a kind of a image of yours that you're not a cruel thing, or something like that. Say, for example, Dash was a wonderful person, and I will always remember the generosity and the kindness they showed towards me. Then, Dash was a wonderful person having a great sense of humor, and we will always treasure the special times being spent together. I was truly pleasure working with your dash father or grandmother or grandfather or grandmother, something like that. Your example father was amazing, amazing man or lady, mother or father, whatever the particular person or whatever the loss is all about. And I feel privileged to have known to him and her, and he will be missed, forever missed. So basically, you are telling that you have a very fond memory of that particular person. Remember, students, having a memory and communicating the memory for that particular aspect, just for that particular aspect, you can use these type of languages. But don't use it too often. Offer your support. See, if there is anything that I can do for to help you throughout the difficult times, it will be, please don't be hesitate to ask. If you ever need a friend to lean during the difficult times, please call me. We know that we cannot take the pain away, but we want you to call us if there is any kind of help needed. And whenever you need a shoulder to cry on, please let me know if I can help you in any of the need or something like that. You have so much to deal with this time. Please let me take care of you. See, basically, it is a kind of an offerance which you are going to provide to this particular person who has actually suffered a kind of a loss. Providing a support, you cannot say, if you want, you can just call me anytime during the time of your despair and all. I can help you. So, this is a kind of your a very monotonous type of language, a very stereotype of language which should be avoided. And this, if avoided, can create uh, wonders in the aspect of writing a sympathy note. So, when actually offering a support, offer a genuine support. Don't be a stereotype. Then there are many other words to add on to it. Now, when you are closing that particular thing, close in a particular sentence like, "You are in my thoughts, thinking of you, with sympathy, with much love. Our greatest goes out to you, our sincere condolence." This kind of an aspect or closing will help you to construct a sympathy note that is going to make a thing at large. So that was all about a sympathy note. Now let us have another dimension of a message, and that is a persuasive message. Can I be your dog? Now this is a kind of a request and also a persuasion. This particular dog needs to be your pet, and he is actually requesting you to make him your pet. Now, this particular message is a kind of an allurement for those who actually needs a dog, and is also going to seek for the request of this particular wonderful being. Let us begin to what an aspect of persuasive message is all about. To write a particular persuasive message is a central message of that introduce, inform, convenience, or calls for an action. Persuasive message are often discussed in terms of reason versus emotion. What is the reason and what is the emotion? How demographic testing led to shaping of our seniors. See, basically, persuasive message is being commonly used in your marketing fraternity a lot. Every message of persuasion means you are actually creating a kind of a persuasive aspect, or a kind you're matching your reasons with your emotions. Matching the reasons with your emotion actually means that you are saying that, okay, this is a reason as to why I want it, and because of my emotion I am buying this. I am buying an Apple laptop just because for an emotional aspect that I need it because I never have it. And a reason to buy it is that I want to make it a showbiz. So basically, it's a kind of a persuasion is going to be actually creating a kind of a term, a kind of a link between your reasons and your emotions. Every message has element of ethos, credibility, pathos, passion, enthusiasm, logo, logic, and reason. If your persuasive message focus exclusively on reason with a cold hard fact and nothing about the fact, you may or may not get appeal to your audience. People make decision on emotion as well as on the reason, and even if they have reached all the relevant fact, the decision may still come down to impulse, emotion, and desire. See, emotion, your impulse, and your desire to buy a particular thing. Basically, often at times it is being seen, most of the time, not often the time, it is being seen. And since I was being associated to the aspect of marketing quite a lot number of times, so I have personally experienced this aspect. A particular family goes to buy a washing machine because they need it. Impulse to buy a washing machine which is consumer friendly. Emotion to buy a washing machine, a fully automatic washing machine. And desire to have a machine of a high price, to have a machine with those kind of electronic device that is actually going to work more effectively, like like my neighbor has, like my uncle has, or like my another person has. So impulse is something that is going to make a particular person at a point purchase and something like that. Emotion is actually being associated with that particular thing, and desire to have something that is being with the other person. So these things are going to work in accordance to your persuasive messages. If you are going to make a simple message, say for example, okay, I am selling a washing machine with this particular feature, and these are the things, you can buy it. Or another aspect is that my machine has something that is going to prevent the rats going from down base, or it has an anti-rat fad, or it has something to actually make the process of cleansing the clothes much more easily. So this is a kind of an lucrative message, or is going to be attracting consumer at large. Both a persuasive request and a sales message tries to convey something to do something. A persuasive request can be written to an individual or a large group of people. It can be used to ask something to purchase something. For example, a child could write a persuasive letter to a parent requesting the latest piece of technology. It could be also for a person to a group trying to change the behavior across the section. An example, Disney Friends are for change program in which the Disney Channel actor and actresses are asking kids to change their behavior and help the environment. The salesman, the aspect of your persuasive request is just to have a kind of an aspect wherein you are being actually requesting someone to do a particular kind of activity. Say for example, guys, you will need at least to talk to each other to begin qualification process of leads. This particular person is requesting the sales and the marketing executive to talk among themselves. Now, unless and until the sales and the marketing team are going to talk, the aspect of leads, the aspect of leading aspect won't be arising. So, persuasive request is something in which you are actually requesting someone to buy a particular thing and to make a kind of a change. So, for example, these Disney friends or Disney characteristics or Disney characters are actually asking kids to make a change in behavior. The quality, basically, now let us have a look at some of the basic five elements of your persuasion. The quality of source. The quality of source means the person or organization sending the message is very important in influencing how effective the message is. The source must be credible, and more credible source, more the person's messages. See, basically, from where the message is being generated. Say, for example, you are making your digital media, or you are making a persuasive message by using your billboards and all. The kind of quality of source from which a particular message is being generated is going to actually show that whether it is authentic or not, because at times the person can get persuaded or can get carried away by the billboards also, and at the same time the same kind of person can get carried away by your unconventional media advertisement also. Then the next is message is a lone aspect over which the writer has total control. You decide what to say, when to say, and how to say. The best persuasive writing employs both to the factual and emotional arguments. So the first is your quality source. See, basically, from where are you actually getting the message? Are you getting the message from the books, from the chronicles, from the journals, from those billboards and all, or from any other references and all? That is going to be dependent upon how are you going to be persuaded by things at large. Second is the message. Remember, the message has to be of persuasion. See, why do you say that people are always for any kind of hair transplantation, or kind of any kind of things like that? Go to Dr. Batra and all. offer any kind of activities regarding to beautification of your faces and all, they prefer this particular place. It is because the kind of message which they generate, the kind of message which VLCC or brands like that generate, creating a kind of a fat man and a thin man, or or a well structured man. So basically it's a kind of an aspect that is going to be created at large, and the message is the second point of it. Next, the medium, although the medium is the message, may I'm sorry for that. Okay, although the medium as a message may be somewhat exaggerated, it does speak to important use of right channel to the audience. Spoken communication is more likely to bring about yielding some of them, but written words have more in comprehension. See, in the very first point, I told you that the quality of the source, that means the source of making a particular act, is of much more importance than the message onto which the persuasion is being made, that is being important. And the next aspect is that of a medium. Medium is going to involve the channel through which the particular thing is being transmitted. It could be your your televisions, your those kind of your, you can say, your digital platforms and all. You must know your audience. Knowing your audience is one of the most important thing when you are actually making the kind of a persuasion. See, students, let me put it one more time to you all. The quality of source, the person or the organization who is sending the message. Basically, now the aspect of very first point or very first element of a persuasion is who is actually sending the message, the company or the brand which is actually persuading you. Say for example, if you say, in terms of your communicational technology and all, if Reliance Communication or Airtel, or you can say BSNL, something, those kind of your big brands, if they are going to create a kind of message, you will have a powerful impact rather than those other kind of cable networks and all. Basically, quality of source is going to have a kind of a thing where I'm repeating this aspect just to make it one more time clear to you all. Uh, the quality of source actually means, it also means the kind of a medium and all, but in real sense, the quality of source means the person or the organization who is actually sending the message at large. Then the second point is that of a message. Then at the third point, you will be having the medium of the message in your aspect to be dealt with. Then you have to have to a full knowledge about the kind of an audience. All in the things of business have a bottom line. Did your audience do what you want them to do? So basically, you have to have a full knowledge of your audience to have the perfect cue of it. Now, there are particularly few of the points as to how are you going to write a persuasive message. First, start of a letter with concern. So basically, there are one, two, three, and four and five. Basically, the quality of letter, sorry, quality of source is the very first element of persuasion. Second is the message. Third is the medium. Fourth is your audience, and second, the bottom line. As to means, it actually means that as to what you are, what you want your particular consumers to do, or what you want your particular beings to do at large. Next, your next aspect is uh, how to write a particular persuasive message. See, students, the concept of persuasive message is such which is being too commonly used in your marketing and in your advertisement world. And I'm repeating this thing again and again to you all just to make it clear and just to make it much more expensive to you, explainable to you all. The second point, the first point is first start your letter with concerns such as not receiving the response of the previous inquiries of the letter that you have been sending. Include the date that you have sent the letters, purpose letter were being meant to serve if they had not been returned. See, basically, when you are starting with a persuasive message or a message of request or message of buying to your consumer, you have to write at first that previously also you tried to pitch the product, but I know that due to some kind of discrepancies, or not exactly the discrepancies, but due to some important work or important queue of yours, you were not in a position to answer my thing. I am just pitching my product one more time to you all. Restate the initial concern or request so that the recipient may know the problem in the case they have forgotten. See, the aspect is that products come and products go, and brand comes and brand go, and many of them are into a habit of that the consumer are in a habit of say it forgets to a lot. So you have to make a particular problem at large and have to make the person receptant in such a manner that the message should be actually clear to that particular person. State as to what action is to be taken. Make sure that the mentioning all details at length. So that was the 4 points as to how are you going to write a persuasive message. At first, you have to start off with a letter of actually writing what you have wrote in the previous one. You have to restate as to request of the recipient. That means you have to restate that uh, the problem was this, or the matter of fact was this, and I will repeat my I will make my message one more time clear to you all. Then you have to necessitate the action to be taken. That means what do you expect from the consumers? See, consumers are one of the most important element of your particular business. Persuasive messages or sales messages are a kind of a message which is actually requesting to do you to make someone do something which you intend to do. And the last, you have to make sure that the action of persuasion is meant only to take action and nothing else. So, Fred, I have a request. Sam, I hear you request. Put it in writing. See, basically, when you are requesting, or when you are persuading, or when you are actually writing a sympathy note, you have to have a kind of a feeling within you that you have to be very real and genuine. Now, let's make a quick recap of what we have done. We have done the sympathy notes. We have done the composing of sympathy notes, anatomy of sympathy notes. We have done persuasive messages, 5 basic messages of persuasion. We have also done the persuasive message as to how to write a persuasive message and particularly the request aspect of it. So, to the best of my ability, I have worked upon as to how are you going to write a sympathy note, or as to how are you, or how you should write a persuasive message, and in that too also the request part of it, how you're going to request someone to get or to make him do the aspect which you need or which you want him or her to do. If still any of the points is not being clear to you, or you are not in a position to understand any of my words or any of my slide, you can write to me on my WhatsApp. You can mail me the content, and or you can come to me directly in my cubicle during the class hours and all, so that each and every aspect of sympathy note, and also the persuasive messages and writing the request as to how you're going to request to make someone do your particular kind of work could be clear to you, and you can apply it in your basic lives. Until my next lecture, thank you.